Hello everyone. Let us begin with the third unit of Economy NCERT. Current challenges facing the Indian economy. Some of the most challenging issues are poverty, development of rural India, and building infrastructure. We know that India is second most populated country in the world. So we need investment in health and education for people. We also need to understand employment and need for creating more employment. Also, the implication of development on our environment and call for sustainable development. There is also need to critically assess government initiatives in tackling all these issues. First challenge is poverty. We will try to understand various attributes of poverty, diverse dimensions relating to poverty, also the way poverty is estimated, and we will be we will be able to assess existing poverty alleviation programs. No society can surely be flourishing and happy of which the far greater part of members are poor and miserable. Adam Smith said this. It means if large section of population is not able to fulfill even basic needs, the society cannot be happy. Introduction. India has taken we have studied the economic policies that India has taken in last 7 decades and also outcome of those policies. The focus of economic policies was providing minimum basic needs to the people and reduction of poverty. The pattern of development that successive 5-year plans envisaged laid emphasis on upliftment of poorest of poor and integrating these people into mainstream and achieving minimum standard of living for all. While addressing the Constituent Assembly in 1947, Nehru had said, "This achievement of independence is but a step, an opening of opportunity to the great triumph and achievements that await us, the ending of poverty and ignorance and disease and inequality of opportunity." However, we need to know where we stand today. Poverty is not just challenge for India but also for the world because as more than one fifth of the world's poor live in India. It means about 300 million people are not able to fulfill even their basic needs. Poverty has many faces. It can be defined in many ways. It and also the meaning changes from place to place and across time. It is described in many ways. Most often, poverty is a situation that people want to escape. So, it is called for action for the poor and wealthy alike. A call to change the world so that many more may have enough to eat, adequate shelter, access to education and health, protection from violence, and voice in what happens in their societies. To know what helps to reduce poverty, what works and what does not, poverty has to be defined, measured, and studied, and even experienced. So, since poverty has many dimensions, it has to be looked at through a variety of indicators like level of income and consumption, social indicators, indicators of vulnerability to risk, and socio-political access. So, what is the definition of poor? Who are the poor people? So, in our localities and neighborhood, we see there are some of us who are poor and some who are rich. And there are many people who belong to many stages in between. Pushcart vendors, street cobblers, women who string flowers, rag pickers, vendors, and beggars are some examples of poor and vulnerable groups in urban area. The poor people possess few assets and reside in kacha hutments with walls made of baked mud and roofs made of grass, thatch, bamboo and wood. They do not have some even don't have such dwelling. In rural areas, many of them are landless laborers. Even if some of them possess land, it is only dry or wasteland, and many do not get to have even 2 meals a day. Starvation and hunger are key features of poverty. The poor lack basic literacy and skills, and so they have very limited economic opportunities. They also face unstable unemployment. Malnutrition is alarmingly high among the poor. Ill health, disability, or serious illness makes them physically weak. They borrow from money lenders who charge high rates of interest, and that may lead to chronic indebtedness. They are highly vulnerable and not able to negotiate their legal wages from employers, and they are exploited. They have no access to electricity, and their primary cooking fuel is firewood and cow dung cake. Last section of poor people do not even have access to safe drinking water, and there is evidence of extreme gender inequality in participation of gainful employment, education, and decision making within family. We know that women have no say over all these over what over the decisions taken in family. Poor women receive less care on their way to motherhood, and so the children are less likely to survive or be born healthy. Economists identify the poor on the basis of their occupation and ownership of assets. They state that rural poor work mainly as landless agricultural laborers, cultivators with very small land holding, or landless laborers who are engaged in non-agricultural jobs, and tenant cultivators with small land holdings. And urban poor are largely the overflow of rural poor who migrate to urban areas in search of better employment and livelihood opportunities. Who laborers who do a variety of casual jobs and self-employed who sell a variety of things on roadside and are engaged in variety of activities. Look at these pictures. Majority of agricultural laborers are poor. So how are poor people identified? If we want to solve the problem of poverty, we need to find sustainable strategies to address cause of poverty and design schemes accordingly. However, this scheme to be implemented, government needs to first identify who the poor people are, so these schemes can reach those beneficiaries only. For this, there is need to develop scale to measure poverty and factors that make up criteria for this measurement. In pre-independent India, Dadabhai Nauroji was the first to discuss poverty line. He used the menu for prisoners and used appropriate prevailing prices to arrive at jail cost of living. However, we know that only adults stay in jails, whereas in actual society there are children too. So we need to think about that cost as well. He therefore appropriately adjusted this cost of living to arrive at poverty line. For this adjustment, he assumed that one third population consisted of children and half of them consumed very little, while other half consumed half of the adult diet. And this is how he arrived at the factor of 3/4. The weighted average of consumption of three segments gives the average poverty line, and which comes out to be 3/4 of adult jail cost of living. But in post independent India, there are several attempts to work out a mechanism to identify number of poor. For instance, in 1962, Planning Commission, and now called as Niti Aayog, formed a study group. In 1979, another body called Task Force on Projection of Minimum Needs and Effective Consumption Demand was formed. And in 1980 and 2005, expert groups were constituted for the same purpose. Besides the Planning Commission, even individual economists have attempted to develop such mechanism. For defining poverty, we divide people into two categories, the poor and non poor, and the poverty line separates the two. However, there are many kinds of poor, the absolutely poor, very poor, and the poor. Similarly, there are various kinds of non poor, the middle class, upper middle class, rich, the very rich, and absolutely rich. Think of this as a line or continuum from very poor to absolutely rich. So in this figure we can see that this is poverty line which separates poor from non-poor, and within poor there are absolutely poor, very poor, and poor people, and in non-poor there is again not so poor people, then middle class, upper middle class, rich, the very rich, millionaire, and billionaires. Now, categorizing poverty. There are many ways to categorize poverty. In one such way, people who are always poor and who are usually poor but who may sometime have a little more money. Example is casual laborers are grouped together as chronic poor, and another group are churning poor who regularly move in and out of poverty. It means they are not regularly poor, sometimes they come out of poverty. Example, small farmers and seasonal workers, and occasionally poor who are rich most of the time but may sometime have patch of bad luck. They are called transient poor. And then there are those who are never poor and non-poor. So in this diagram you can see there are chronic poor who can be always poor or usually poor. Second is transient poor who are churning poor or occasionally poor. And then non-poor category. So we will study poverty line in the next video.